Austria has been a member of the European Union since 1995. Under certain conditions, EU citizens may enter, stay, and work in Austria without a visa. This is the so-called Personenfreie Zügigkeit, free movement of persons. It also applies to people from the EEA states, EU countries including Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. For a stay of up to 3 months in Austria, you only need a valid passport or identity card. If you want to stay longer, you need a confirmation of registration from the MA35. People from the EU, the EEA, and Switzerland must apply for an Anmeldebescheinigung, a confirmation of registration from the MA35 within 4 months of entering Austria. You must be employed or have sufficient means of subsistence and comprehensive health insurance. You need the registration certificate to document your stay. When applying, you can choose from 5 purposes of residence: employee, self-employment, family members, training, or other. The application must be submitted in person to the Department of Immigration and Citizenship, the MA35 for short. My tip: find out in advance about the documents you need for the registration certificate and bring the originals and copies of all required documents. Let's look at this with an example. Tamás is 35 years old and has a 10-year-old daughter. He is a qualified nurse and a Hungarian citizen. He has moved to Vienna with his daughter to work as a nurse at the AKH, the Vienna General Hospital. Since he is an EU citizen, he can start immediately. Shortly after moving, he applies to the MA35 for a registration certificate for himself and his daughter. He submits the following original documents and copies of them: valid passport or identity card, registration form, proof of income, and employment contract. In terms of the purpose of his stay, he states employee based on his employment contract with Vienna General Hospital. And for his daughter, he states family member. Since all the requirements have been met and the fees have been paid, Tamás receives the registration certificates from the MA35, which means that the stay in Austria is official. After 5 years, Tamás can apply for permanent residence. This applies to all people from the EU, EEA, and Switzerland who have been in the country under the EU's free movement rules and have been in the country for 5 years without interruption. Anyone who has lived in Austria for 6 years or longer can acquire Austrian citizenship under certain conditions. The following applies to people from the EU, the EEA, and Switzerland. If you have relatives in third countries, your relatives also enjoy certain benefits. You can get a residence card for 5 years, you are not bound by the integration agreement, and you can work in Austria. The initial application for family reunification must be submitted in person to the MA35. As a result of Brexit, the following applies to all persons with British citizenship. Anyone who immigrated to Austria after January 1, 2021 falls under the third country regulation with certain exceptions. You can find more information on immigration from third countries in the videos Family Reunification and Immigration of Qualified Workers.